The latest in that horrific mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. 10 people killed, at least 3 others wounded after a heavily armed gunman opened fire in a supermarket.
Authorities say the attack was a racist hate crime. The president speaking today, honoring the memory of those who died, including retired police lieutenant officer Aaron Salter Jr., who was killed while defending others from the shooter. Listen to the president.
We pay tribute to all law enforcement officers and their families who understand what it takes, what's at risk to save and protect all of us. And that includes paying tribute to the Buffalo police officer Aaron Slater, who gave his life trying to save others when a gunman shot and killed 10 innocent people in a grocery store in Buffalo on Saturday. He actually was able to shoot the assailant twice, but he had on a bulletproof vest, and he lost his life in the process.
Okay. For more on this tragic event, we want to bring in Joseph Gramaglia, Commissioner of the Buffalo Police Department. Commissioner, first of all, we offer our sympathies to you and, of course, the community that you serve there in Buffalo. This has been hard for all of us to cover this story, let alone for you to be right there with the people within your community. You heard the president just a moment ago pay tribute to those who died, including your police lieutenant, Officer Aaron Salter Jr., who was a retired police officer that was working out as a security guard there at Tops. What can you tell us about this officer?
So our retired officer Salter's been retired about 4 years now. He's been working security here for quite some time, and he's definitely a beloved member of the Tops family and working security here.
And Commissioner, what is the status of the investigation? What are you looking for here? You obviously have the shooter. What do you want to know, and where do you think you might find it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your last question. Was the shooter working with what?
Well, I'm asking you, what do you want to find out in this investigation? Obviously, the shooter is under arrest and in custody, and the evidence against him is substantial. So what are you looking for to find out about this horrible crime, and where do you think you're going to look?
All right, so right now there's a parallel investigation. The local district attorney's office has filed a charge of murder in the first degree, and they will proceeding with the murder charges. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office are conducting a secondary investigation, as this is clearly a racist hate crime, and they are going to conduct their investigation on that. There have been and will continue to be search warrants executed and obtained, looking at the digital footprint, looking to see what evidence he has on any electronic means. We'll also look to follow his footprints as to where he has been, what he has been doing. Some of that will take some time, but that's going to be a rapid part of the investigation going on.
Commissioner, I know it's kind of hard to hear. It's raining pretty hard there, so thanks so much for hanging in there with us. Talking about this shooter, Peyton Gendron, was this a surprise to you, to your police department, to the community? Was he ever on your radar?
He was not on our radar. He is not from this community. He's nowhere near from this community. He is a little over 3 hours away, more than 200 miles. We, to the point that we've checked yet, we have nothing on record of having any involvement with him, but we will continue to search him. So, it was a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and he had pre-planned this event. He had done his reconnaissance. He, came to the time where he was going to do this, pulled right in the parking lot, and without hesitation carried out his hateful assault. As was said at the top, our retired officer, Aaron Salter, challenged him from a position of cover where he could try to take him out. He fired numerous shots. He struck him at least one time, but that heavily armor-plated body armor that the assailant was wearing was no match for the rounds that Officer Salter was firing at him, and he just continued on, and he took Officer Salter's life along with 9 other individuals who are completely innocent. This was a hate-filled rage, just vile human being.
What incredible heroism by retired Officer Salter, laying down his life for others like that. I want to ask you about the impact on the community, Commissioner. You must be brokenhearted, as is the country. And I wonder about, what can you tell us about the East Side neighborhood where this occurred and the impact it's having on Buffalo, a city, a great American city. We all know it from various things, and I just wonder if you could talk a little bit about how it's hitting this city.
It's hitting the city very hard. We're a close-knit community. It's a very culturally diverse city. This immediate area, of course, is severely impacted, but as is the city. We all hurt together. The police department, the fire department, with the loss of the mother of one of our former fire commissioners, it impacts everybody. This has touched everybody. The police department, the FBI, the Sheriff's Department of State Police, we all have a job to do. We're going to do that. We're going to grieve when the time is right, but for right now we have a job to do. But we're also going to do our best to try to help the community grieve. We're all going to get through this together. We have to come through this together. It's going to take time.
Already, we've just seen the outpouring of love, Commissioner, not just within your community, but other communities around the country. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we've seen just acts of violence like this going after other people of color, racist motives. It's heart-wrenching that we are going through this. Again, we're seeing this. What are you doing specifically with regard to this investigation and holding this young man accountable? But for the community, how can others get involved around the country? I know that there have been people reaching out across the United States on what they can do to support you. Tell us what you need, what your community needs at this moment from those that are not even from Buffalo.
I think the outpouring of support is great. On the police side of things, what we can do for the community is do our jobs, do it professionally, do it well, do it thoroughly. We'll take the time that we need. We ask for some patience and understanding, because if we do this job right, then this individual will never see the light of day again. The community needs justice. The families need justice, but so does the community as a whole. So we're going to be here as long as it takes to do our jobs. As far as the community, the outside of this area, just their outpouring of support and love for the Buffalo area, that really sends a strong message. So we have to stand very aggressively against this type of hate. It's, I don't know how you stop someone who has this kind of hate in their heart, especially when they're acting on their own and they're just festering in their own. I don't know how you stop that. If somebody sees somebody that has that kind of a hate, they have to be called out on it.
Absolutely. And if I could just follow up on that, Commissioner, what is as a leader in the community there, struck by this evil, this hatred, what is your sense of what's happening to the country? Why? Why, Buffalo today, Orlando previously, who knows what comes next? As somebody who leads a community from a position of law enforcement, have you got any thoughts on what the hell is happening in this country?
I don't know. We just have some sick people in this community, and from our standpoint, again, I don't know how you stop somebody that, under the darkness comes out and does what they do. We're going to train the best that we can. To respond as fast as we can. Thank God we had officers that were just so close and responded in less than a minute's time and were able to encounter this individual. Once he saw the police arrive and, they pulled right up to the front, right in harm's way, and without hesitation ran in. He took that gun, he put it underneath his chin, and at that point the officers were able to de-escalate and get him to put that gun down. We're glad it didn't escalate into a further situation, because the firepower that he had, the armor-plated vest that he had on, I don't know that what we had in our arsenal at that time, what kind of an effect it would have had on him, and it really could have escalated. He could have retreated back into that store where there were so many more shoppers looking for cover. So we're very grateful as to how it ended.
Before we let you go, Commissioner, any new details you can share with us about this suspect, his family? Have you been able to talk to anybody in his circle close to him to try and understand what was going on, his background, anything about his family line?
So that part of the investigation is more than 200 miles away. That's what the state police and the FBI were conducting, this part of the investigation. And, you see behind me here, we have the crime scene set up. The FBI is processing that crime scene, and we are holding the scene. But what you don't see is rooms full of investigators and agents and state police troopers and sheriff's deputies that are doing yeoman's work behind the scenes, going through the mounds of evidence and processing stuff. We have a significant amount of resources that are working this case. We will take it as long as it needs to take to make sure that justice is swift and thorough.
Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.